Morning folks, Neil from Spark Angels here. You probably gathered that by now. Just wanted to let you guys know we've seen a huge increase in MacBooks, Apple Macs, well now specifically Apple Apple MacBook Pros and MacBooks that are dead to the world. Some of them a little bit of war damage, some of them just seemingly dead, but we've narrowed the issues down to, and I don't know if you've seen some of the posts that we put out on Facebook and Instagram, down to an absolutely minuscule, you know, almost hard to believe tiny little chip, and it really is small, that's blown, but it's not like blown where you can see it and it's like an old type of fuse where you see a massive puff of smoke or smoke damage and it's got a hole in the middle. They you know, they are so small and there almost seems no physical difference. But well, that's electronics for you, and that's mini electronics for you, microelectronics. And these tiny minuscule little chips are what causes the MacBook Pro, which is, you know, hundreds and thousands of pounds worth of device, dead. And a lot, you know, a few of these people have taken to Apple and they're like, it needs a new board, and that's going to be £350, £400 on some of the bigger sort of £2,000 models, and we're able to fix it for, you know, under £200. And I know, although changing that is like a tiny little chip, £200. Well, the chip costs probably a couple of quid, but the actual labour time and stripping it down and finding it under a microscope work, and then soldering it down, and putting it all in, then putting it all back together and testing it. That's where the money is. It's the labour. But Apple have just swapped the whole board out, which is a relatively quick job. But it's so wasteful, but it's extremely expensive. So I'm quite happy that we're able to fix a lot of them. And yeah, like I said, a huge increase. But I think a huge increase is that although we're not advertising that we do Mac stuff, word gets around, and I don't think that there's that many people, specialists, that do that. MacBook Pro, MacBook, all that sort of stuff, and that's growing for us enormously well. So that's really good. We've also just invested in each store something that's called a Tristar reader, and the Tristar is a little chip inside the iPhone. Now, to be perfectly honest, I'm not the most clued up of techs anymore. I used to be back in the day. I've got people that are way cleverer than I am on that subject to do it. But this reader, I mean, they're about 150 quid each. That we've got one in each store now. And what we've seen in the past, if you come in with a battery issue, then we'll change the battery. But we always say, look, you know, if it keeps running down, or they'll come in and say my battery's running down really quickly, and previous to now, we've changed the battery, and we've said, look, if it keeps happening, come back in, we'll dive deeper, because you know, you can't have that person's phone for 3 or 4 hours and test every chip, because a lot of the time it is just the battery, because they have like an 18-month to 2-year sort of battery life, the actual life before it considerably runs down fast, or it just doesn't last very long. So this Tristar reader allows us to plug it in front of you, which is amazing, because it works so fast. There's a little blue box, and you plug it in and it pings about half a dozen or to 10 chips inside for health. And the great thing is, it will come back on the readout and say pass, pass, fail, pass, 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 and immediately. So if you come in for a battery, we're just teaching everybody now and running through the procedure, but we'll plug it in and it'll hopefully run through all of the chip checks in the phone, and we go, actually they're all looking okay, it is probably the battery. But quite frequently, because these Tristar chips and the chips inside the phone do malfunction, they are the cause of the battery running down and not the battery. So not only, you know, it's not a waste of money, because if it is, we put a battery in and that doesn't fix it, we do a deeper dive. We don't charge you for something that isn't repaired. So, you know, we keep your original battery, we dig deeper, and we'll do the actual chip repair if need be. So if of course it is repairable, some of them aren't. So the great thing is, this allows us to plug in and almost instantly be able to tell you at what level the issue is. Is it just a battery? Great. And it means that we're always here to support our customers, and this is what we will say. If it continues to if it continues to run down, because we can't keep your phone overnight, you don't want that either. So, you know, we try to inconvenience people as little as possible. His number plate was TWT. Brilliant. I won't tell you what I think that, well, stands for, but even what it says. Yeah, so what it allows us to do is basically plug it in and tell you right away, is it the battery or is it the phone that's running it down, and then quote you accordingly or diagnose accordingly. So it's amazing. £150 each, not cheap, but if it inconveniences you guys less, and us as well, because obviously we send it out with the battery, it comes back in, we have to re-diagnose it. Yeah, it's great news. So I'm pretty pleased with that. New developments happening all the time, and those are two really significant ones. So if you know anybody with a failed MacBook or iMac or MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, then we're the guys, we're the kiddies. And also, you know, battery replacements. Like I said, batteries tend to have about an 18-month to 2-year lifespan before they become, of constant use that is, even if they're not used constantly, batteries can degrade. But yeah, so we're always here for that new fresh lease of life on your phones as well. Thanks for watching, guys.